Today we're going to talk about our liver and how we can love our liver, because the liver does so many things for us. Let's just take a look to start out with what the liver actually is responsible for. How many of you knew that it does, it handles over 50,000 chemical functions within our body? 50,000, it's quite a few, isn't it? So some of the highlights of that are that it cleans and filters our blood, and that's probably what we think of most often. It metabolizes fats, sugars, and proteins. It clears toxins from our body. It breaks down drugs and other chemicals that we're exposed to. And that doesn't even necessarily mean that we've ingested it. If we're putting it on our skin, we're ingesting it. So we think of swallowing things as ingesting them, and that's not the only way for that activity to happen. It produces enzymes that help to digest our food. It produces bile to emulsify and absorb fats. It produces and regulates cholesterol. Now, interestingly enough, the older we get, we need a little more cholesterol. So those numbers will kind of gradually rise for most of us, although we want to keep, we do want to keep a check on that. We don't want that to be out of control. It also regulates hormones and hormone production. So if we have imbalances from the liver that are affecting our hormones, if we've got a hormonal imbalance, we want to look at the liver. That's one of the first places we really want to look, because we probably aren't digesting the fats properly that are necessary for creating the blocks within the body from which the hormones are made. So we always want to go back and take a look at the liver, always loving it. Blood sugar. If we experience blood sugar imbalances, blood sugar fluctuations, one of the first things that we want to do is take a look at the liver and see what's going on there. If we are dealing with allergies, especially seasonal allergies, we would be well served to do a colon cleanse first and then a liver cleanse. And so typically when we want to talk about cleaning the liver up, we want to make sure that the colon is functioning properly. Everything needs to be moving out of the body. If we're not eliminating toxins, then they're sitting in the body. So we don't want to be cleansing the body, attempting to do more cleansing if things aren't moving and flushing. If we've got a weak immune system, then most likely we're not metabolizing the proteins through the liver that we need to make white blood cells. So I guess it's safe to say that if we're experiencing pretty much anything, any type of imbalance in the body, we need to make sure we're loving our liver properly. So we're talking about all these things that the liver, that the liver is doing. It also, it stores glucose and vitamin D, vitamin A, B12, iron, copper, as well as the fats that we've talked about. So we need good complex carbs, but not a lot of simple carbs, you guys. The simple carbs clog things in the body. So we want to make sure that we've got a nice diet. So we want to look at keeping in check the carbs and the proteins that we're eating. Are they healthy? Are they truly food? Because we do call a lot of things food these days that are not food at all. So or is it actually food? Excessive alcohol. That can be something else that can negatively affect our liver. There's a lot of research has been done on acetaminophen and the effects that it has on the liver, and actually is very closely tied to acute liver failure. So we really want to limit those types of things, over-the-counter things, especially acetaminophen, that we are taking for those reasons. Fumes, gasoline fumes. When we're putting gasoline into our car, if we are near exhaust, breathing in those fumes, obviously those are harmful things, right? Other toxic fumes and chemical compounds in products that we just use day in and day out, just in our normal everyday life. That could be things like, ladies, makeup. That can be lotion, shampoo, this laundry detergent that we're washing our clothes in, and then our clothes are sitting there on our body, for hours. And the sheets, what are we washing our sheets with? All of these things make a difference. And it's not any one thing that tips the scale. It's something that today we know as bioaccumulation. And bioaccumulation is a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and so much today and so much tomorrow and a little bit the day after that. And it accumulates, those things accumulate in our body and cause breakdown. They cause the body to not be able to function properly. And the things like making the hormones, creating the white blood cells, all those things are not able to happen efficiently and effectively. Pesticides, herbicides, insecticides, not just things that we would put on our own body, insecticides that we might spray or rub on our own body, but what about what is in our garden or other foods that we're consuming? And not even if we went out today and we planted a garden in our own yard that we know we don't spray any kind of chemicals on, what has been put on that soil in the last 50 years? So it goes far beyond what we typically think about where we're picking up these different chemicals and compounds. How about all of the hormones that are fed to animals? And then we consume the meat or drink the milk and things like that. The really good news is, you guys, the liver can regenerate itself. Scientifically, we know that can happen. So we may not know if we're in a situation where we're having a problem with our liver. So let's look at some ways that we might be able to identify. So I'm going to go through quite a list of things. So it doesn't mean if you are dealing with one or two of those, but if you're dealing with 4 or 5 of these things on this list, you probably would be well served to do some loving on your liver. Overweight or inability to lose weight, abdominal bloating after eating or excessive gas, poor or inadequate digestion, frequent or continued fatigue, mental fatigue, frequent headaches or migraines, mood and behavior swings, clinical depression, bad breath, a coated tongue when going without food for half a day or longer, irritable bowel syndrome, sluggish metabolism, an overburdened, weakened immune system, high cholesterol, excessive body heat, gallbladder problems, high blood pressure, sugar cravings, other types of sugar imbalances, hormonal imbalances, oily skin, blemishes, discoloration, acne, psoriasis, warts, moles, generalized itching or rashes, an intolerance to chemicals or intolerances to smells, allergies to, it doesn't matter, food or chemicals, diminished eyesight, heartburn or acid reflux, impotence or low sex drive, sleep disorders, poor protein utilization, anger and irritability, gallstones, poor memory, premature aging and graying. So those are some of the signs that we may need to be showing some extra love to our liver. The best time to cleanse the liver is in the late spring. So we're at that perfect time. And again, We would really want to make sure that we've done a colon cleanse, or that at the very least that everything is moving, that we're having 1 to 3 bowel movements every single day. Things have got to flush through the body. Some negative emotions that we might experience that might go back to relating to the liver are anger and rage.
Claiming you're helping your family, but you're going to hurt yourself, which is negative.
Justifying. Chronic complaining. So general irritability. So if those are things that you experience often, or someone that you love experiences often, probably time to love on the liver. So some of the emotions that we want to flip, because we want to look at the opposite side of those emotions, and on purpose choose to move into that state of mind, would be forgiveness, love, accountability, and gratitude. Now, I love affirmations. I believe they're very powerful. I use affirmations often, and these are some affirmations that we might want to use. Choose some that resonate with you, but we might want to use if we know we're dealing with some of these negative emotions that may go back to the liver. I choose forgiveness. I let go of past hurts and angers. I choose health and wholeness. I am accountable for my actions and my choices. I am grateful for my teachers in my life. So pairing those with whatever else you do, I find is extremely beneficial for helping with to move past some of the things going on with our liver. And we want to make sure that we're getting plenty of enzymes, because that's huge for the liver. So if we take a food enzyme when we eat a meal, it takes a lot of pressure off of not just the liver, but the entire digestive system. So look at something like essential zyme 4, allerzyme, possibly even detoxzyme. Those are all good choices to use every time we eat a meal to take pressure off and get those enzymes in, so that we actually are assimilating the food that we're taking into the body. Now, 30 to 40% of our diet should consist of raw fruits and veggies. Please, let's make sure that we're properly cleaning those fruits and veggies, so that if they have been exposed to chemicals and a lot of other really icky things that are on most of the produce that we purchase at the store, please, please, please make sure that you're scrubbing them, that you're soaking them really well. I love to just either make a bath with some lemon oil in it, 5 or 6 drops of lemon oil, and just soak my fruits and veggies for about 10 minutes. Or there's actually fruit and veggie soak through Young Living that you can purchase, and it's amazing. And then just rinse everything off. Our diet should include essential fatty acids. We talked a little bit about the proteins before, and the body not assimilating. So we want to make sure that we're getting good fatty acids, cold pressed oils, nuts, seeds, avocado, and fish. So we need omegas. The liver loves omegas. So we could look at, things like flaxseed, evening primrose, black currant, and of course the fish oils. I particularly love Mindwise as an omega. It comes from a nut. If we have a bitter taste in our mouth, that's one thing I wanted to mention that I didn't before. If we get a bitter taste in our mouth after we've eaten, most likely we need to work on our liver. That's another telltale sign. We need to be drinking half of our body weight in ounces a day in pure, clean water. That helps to keep everything flushed and moving. So now we know what the liver does. We know the signs and some of the causes for an imbalance. But what do? We do a food enzyme. We make sure we're drinking plenty of water. We make sure that we're having bowel movements every day, so things are flushing through. We want to make sure to keep electrolytes balanced. So we want to do either a good mineral supplement, like mineral essence, coconut water without junk added to it, of course, will give us some good electrolytes. And then we now have Vitality Drops, which are amazing, especially for those of us that don't like to drink water. I love drinking water. My hubby, not so much, but the Vitality Drops have been transformational for him in that. Let's look at some oils that we can use that are very supportive and balancing to keeping our liver healthy. Juva Cleanse, anything with Juva means liver. So Juva Cleanse, you know, putting a little bit of oils either topically over the liver, putting them in some Ningxia Red or under our tongue if they're a vitality oil. But Juva Cleanse, Juva Flex, GLF, stands for gallbladder liver formula. And then let's move to the emotional part of that, because there's always an emotional component. Forgiveness, release, surrender, transformation,
did you not see my
and hope.
post, you know, Sunday about the Zoom? I want to do a Zoom today at 12.
Single oils, those are all blends. Single oils that we might want to use are Ledum. Ledum is wonderful just to help keep things moving and clear congestion in the body. So just a great thing to support in general. Lemon, grapefruit, and coriander. Are all great choices. So Juvatone, if we are ready to cleanse the liver, we can do that with Juvatone. So we want to start typically with 1 tablet a day and work our way up to where we're doing 5. So 1 for a few days, 2 for a few days, 3 for a few days, and your body is going to tell you. So it's going to be maybe different for me than it is for you, but pay attention to what your body's telling you. And just remember, when we do a cleanse, it's kind of like cleaning out the closet, right? You know, when we have that really messy closet where you open the door and hope everything doesn't fall out on top of you, you know, you kind of reach in, grab what you've got to get out and close it again. Well, we're doing a cleanse. It's kind of like opening the door and stuff starts falling out. And then the whole room gets messy now. It's not just the closet. The whole room's messy. And as we sort through everything that's in the closet, we get a pile of junk that we're going to throw away, and then we get all the stuff we're going to keep. And it's the same thing that happens with the body. We're getting rid of the junk, and we're keeping the good stuff, and we're supporting all the good stuff and the processes that need to be happening. But you know what? During that initial process, sometimes it gets really messy and really ugly. So sometimes when we start doing a cleanse, we don't feel as good. Maybe we become a little more irritable. Maybe we get, you know, things like a headache or a tummy ache, or, you know, we feel just maybe flu-like symptoms. We just feel achy. Well, those things go along with cleaning out that closet, right? If we're cleaning out the body, sometimes we're going to experience that. So drink more water. If you need to slow down on what you're doing, slow down, but don't stop. Keep going. Just keep moving, because eventually you're going to get all the junk to the side, out of the body, right? You're going to get everything else where it can function. So it's like that closet now, everything's put back in it that you wanted to keep, and it's all nice and orderly. You can open the door at will and find whatever you want really quickly. So that's kind of my version of what it looks like when we're cleansing our body. Detoxime at bedtime is a great way to help keep things cleaned up in the body, because when we take an enzyme away from a meal and it's not breaking down our food, it's cleaning up other things in the body. The liver loves antioxidants. Loves antioxidants. So Ningxia Red is a powerful antioxidant. So increasing your Ningxia Red consumption during that cleanse is very powerful and very beneficial. Now, typically we would like to do, anywhere from 2 to 4 ounces of Ningxia Red every single day, just to keep us healthy, keep everything moving and doing what it needs to do, keeping those free radicals in check, because that's what an antioxidant does, which is huge for prevention of other things going on in the body. The cleanse, we want to do that cleanse for at least 10 days. A lot of people love doing the master cleanse, and the master cleanse you need to do again at least 10 days. So there have been times that I personally have done the master cleanse for 10 days, and then I would go into doing the Juvatone and doing all the cleansing. And I love to take castor oil, organic castor oil, and mix it with JuvaCleanse or GLF or something like that, 5 or 6 drops. Put that over my liver area and put a flannel cloth or towel over it, and then put heat, preferably not a heating pad, but heat like a hot water bottle or a hot towel. And that's a great way to help decongest the body. So another prevention for keeping the body healthy, just another step that we can do. And when we're doing a cleanse, that's a great thing to add to it. And it's easy, really, really easy. Soaks, a bath soak, a cleansing bath soak. So, taking a couple of cups of Epsom salt, some baking soda, and you can put things, any of these oils, the JuvaCleanse, JuvaFlex, GLF, things like that. You could use clove. Now remember, some of these oils like clove are hot, so you want to make sure that you're mixing them into the Epsom salt really well and not dropping them on top of the tub before you get in, because you will know that you did that. So mix it in really well so that you're really just soaking, and then just soak in the tub until the water's really cool. Putting some of the oils on the bottom of your feet. Great places to do that. Go get your reference guide and look at the VitaFlex points for the feet and find the liver and work on that part of the foot. These are all easy things that we can do to keep the liver cleansed. Some of us like to do a 5-day nutritive cleanse. So we're looking at doing like Balance Complete as a meal replacement. You can add Juvatone to that. We're wanting to give the body a rest as much as we can while we're doing a cleanse of the liver from digesting food. We want the liver to be able to be freed up from doing its other jobs so that it can just cleanse. I am going to take your questions at this point so that you may unmute yourselves, or you may type in the chat, which I'm about to open. So thank you for holding those off.